Time to talk top flight football from Jamaica. Match week 18 in the Jamaica Premier League came to an end on Monday as two games were on the agenda. Pivotal points were on offer. Gerard Marseille tells us where they went.
Another Monday night football doubleheader. This time two intriguing matches to close out match week 18. First up, two teams trying to remain clear of the relegation zone. 12th placed Vere United taking on 11th placed Molynes United. Molynes United were on the wrong side of a 5-1 defeat last week and immediately set out to hand a defeat of their own. Jason Wright was influential throughout the piece, finding the net early on but was flagged offside. However, the former Reggae Boys youth player didn't let that deter him, as just minutes later, he was in the right place to tap in the parry shot for his 7th goal of the season. His influence wouldn't wane from there either. His delightful turn creating chaos and leading to Kemoy Phillips turning the ball into his own net. 2-0 Molynes at the half. If there was a hint of luck in the first two goals, the third was as intentional as they come. Lovely interplay between Wright and Nicholas Nelson. Nelson slotting home his first goal of the season.
Remember how it feels. Nicholas Nelson. He's back and finally a goal beside his name.
And the Molynes were not done yet. Javon Brown scoring a peach of a goal to make it 4-0. A resounding win and performance by Molynes United.
I'm very proud of the boys, because coming off a big loss last weekend, but the main thing, we get up back the players mentally, and we came off victorious tonight.
Next up, 4th versus 5th. Two teams separated only by goal difference. Defending champions Harbour View facing Humble Lion. Unfortunately, we weren't blessed with the glut of goals or chances that we saw in the first game, with both teams cancelling each other out in the first half. And it seems that's how it would be in the second as well, until Crystal J. Daly produced a moment of quality, dribbling past two and scoring the game's only goal.
From off the bench, he makes the impact. Crystal J. Daly. It may have had a deflection, but he does not care.
Game over. Harbour View grinding out yet another important win.
Well, I must tell you, it's a big 3 points, knowing that we was up against a team that was tied with points. So we know that they will be a hard team to play against. So we have to just come out and play hard as them. And then I think we do well enough to come out with the 3 points.
In other games, Cavalier beat Dunbeholden 3-1. Tivoli Gardens drew 0-0 with Falkland FC. Waterhouse came from behind to beat Chapelton Maroons 3-2. And Arnett Gardens could only manage a draw with Montego Bay United. Portmore United versus Mount Pleasant was postponed. Mount Pleasant's inactivity for this game week has led to Arnett Gardens taking the lead despite only securing a draw. Cavalier continue to stay close in 3rd place. Harbour View have gone 3 points clear of Humble Lion for 4th spot. Waterhouse have jumped Dunbeholden to enter the playoff places, while Molynes United now have a 10-point gap between them and the relegation places.
Yeah, so Lance, the question, Harbour View, are they putting it together at the right time?
It seems so. Last year we saw them just squeeze into the top 6 to make a playoff position and went on to win their entire thing. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Harbour View team, because they were having some real scoring issues a few weeks ago. I checked where in 8 games they had scored 2 goals, and in their last 3 games they have now scored 9. So I think Coach Ludlow Bernard has fixed the scoring issues that had plagued them back in January and February. And if I were a Harbour View fan, I'd be pretty satisfied with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, last night a tough match, but again they found a way to get the 3 points. It's a match that could easily have gone either way.
Yeah, and their captain Wellington, I think a lot has to be said about his leadership. He was man of the match last night, and the post-game interview, he was very articulate in his leadership of the team and what he expects from the team and what the team expects from him, and the confidence that exudes from the management and coaching staff, transmitting to the players and himself as captain. I was very impressed with how articulate he was as captain, a player with vast experience, had played previously with Portmore and other teams. I think part of Harbour View's solid position at the moment is the leadership on the field from players like their captain.
Yeah, just want to have a chat about Jason Wright, because I remember Jason Wright from 2011 when Jamaica qualified for the Under-17 World Cup and how instrumental he was in the qualifying campaign. And that team actually went on to do pretty well at the World Cup. I think they lost 2-1 to Argentina, they drew 1-0 with France, and they lost 1-0 to Japan. And it ended up being a really tight group, all really tight matches. And I remember looking at Jason Wright and thinking, he's such an instinctive striker, he could have a future, but then in a way just fell off the ball. He's back in the Jamaica Premier League now and he's making an impact. 7 goals this season. What do you make of him, Lance? And importantly, helping his team to an important victory on Monday.
Yeah, 6 of his last goals have come, I think, in 9 or 10 matches. So he's unsung at the moment. I think he had an injury issue a few years ago, which, as you said, kept him off the boil, because as a teenager he was a very, very promising player. But I think there were some injury issues that plagued him for quite some time. Good to see him at the top flight now. I think part of the reason for his success and why he's flourishing in the Jamaica Premier League at the moment, Ricardo, is his first touch. His first touch is absolutely sublime. And as you know, on the football field, your first touch sets you up to do things spectacular on the field. A lot of goals I've seen him score this season have come because his first touch was so smooth and efficient that he had time to make his next move. And I think Jason Wright is showing the high quality player he is. And in his post-game interview last night, he was also very articulate and exuded a lot of confidence.
Which school he went to, Lance?
I believe he went to Wolmer's, didn't he?
Okay.
But you said it. I decided I wouldn't go there since you had seemed resistant to talk about that at the top of the show. Yeah, but it's all there to see.
But it's always good to see our sporting athletes in the Caribbean being articulate, because I think there is quite often that thinking that you can't have articulate sporting individuals, and I'm not one who believes in that. But yes, it's good to see Jason Wright back. It's good to see him performing well in the Jamaica Premier League. And this might be a stretch, Lance, but do you think he is the type of player, and from what you've seen of him, he is someone that Emir Al-Grimson might be having a look at?
Yes, I would think so, because to be quite honest, if you look at how he plays, the top goal scorers in the league at the moment, Colin Anderson from Cavalier and Trevante Stewart from Molynes, based on their ball handling skills, have nothing on Jason Wright. And I would think that if those two players can get called up to the national setup, then I would think Hal Grimson could have a look at Jason Wright, because he's only now beginning to find his legs again. And I think he's still not yet, or just about 30 years old maybe, or not yet 30. I don't think he's quite 30 yet.
30 yet. Yeah. No, so, definitely not.
I am thinking that he is on the mend. He's getting his feel of top flight football back again. And I quite frankly think that what we are seeing from him now is probably 70 or 80% of what he can offer. So with normal improvement and getting back into the rhythm of the game from his long-term injury, I think that he has national potential.
Yeah, he's always been a player that I like. It has been disappointing that he hasn't transitioned in the way that you would have hoped. Fast running out of time, Lance, but quickly, it seems increasingly that Falkland and Chapelton are going to be heading out of the Jamaica Premier League. Veer United now, 10 points clear of the relegation zone.
Yeah, well, I quite frankly didn't think from several weeks ago that Chapelton for sure would escape the drop, and the Falklands' lack of results, which have plagued them all season. We've seen very few signs of Falkland turning their season around. So it seems pretty straightforward that these two teams will be relegated. Yeah,
going to be tough from this point on for both Falkland and Chapelton. Jamaica Premier League action, remember, is live on your home of champions. If you're not at home and you can't check it out on linear television, then of course just download the SportsMax app. It's there as well, and you can watch all the matches. We'll be back with more.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.